Yo, man, first off, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahawah Sheen, Yahweh Shah. And for you people who don't know what it is, that's God in Hebrew, the original language on this planet. Now, I need everybody to share this video, especially for the ones who call themselves fucking with me. Show me you do so we can get this information out. Share this video. Now, congratulations, my people. If you are watching this video, you have officially survived the first half of the year 2020. Something is telling me the second half is going to be just as crazy, if not more than the first half. In this video, my people, I wanted to give you a glimpse of what the soon made to be future may look like. And yes, some of this information will be speculations. However, it's speculation projecting off of the facts that we have today. Now, I would like to start off showing a couple minute segments from a popular TV show on Netflix for children called Stretch Armstrong. Now, my people, my view of this clip is one of the most accurate depictions of a future we may be faced with as a reality sooner than you think.
Stunned by the sudden rollout of Rook Unlimited's most fantastic device ever, the Smart Mark. Throw your other devices away, because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. And even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. And don't let the lines discourage you. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free. A gift of thanks to our city from Rook Unlimited.
23% of the population has been given the Smart Mark, number 1.
Time to test our system, number 6. The Flex Fighters are out there somewhere. Teaming up with Jonathan Rook. Let's put our new recruits to work, subtly.
We should find the Flex Fighters.
I ought to find the Flex Fighters.
We should find the Flex Fighters. We should find the Flex Fighters.
You call yourself a man of science. World order is our destiny. Submit to a Smart Mark and join the glorious victory of order over chaos, or you will be eliminated.
Oh yeah, Smart Mark. It seems pretty far-fetched, huh? Or is it? It actually may not be as far-fetched as you think. In fact, much of this technology is already in development, and it is getting ready to be rolled out as we transition from this current system of control into this new digitalized system of control, which will be the cherry on top of the international surveillance state. Now, this new digital system of control, which was highlighted in my recent video about the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset, which incorporates the 4th Industrial Revolution, one of my most important videos I have done. Now, the Great Reset is an initiative, and it was launched by the World Economic Forum, and it was supported by the United Nations, the central banks, the mega corporations, and the governments. Essentially, the entire establishment is on board with this agenda to usher in this new control, which of course is justified by the coronavirus pandemic, which of course we all know this shit is going to be blamed for the economic crisis and the ensuing civil unrest, and also the becoming of food shortages. Now, these are the words that they have stated, not me.
The COVID-19 crisis has shown us that our old systems are not fit anymore for the 21st century. It has laid bare the fundamental lack of social cohesion, fairness, inclusion, and equality. Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system for the need for the post-corona era. We have a choice: to remain passive, which would lead to the amplification of many of the trends we see today: polarization, nationalism, racism, and ultimately increased social unrest and conflicts. But we have another choice. We can build a new social contract, particularly integrating the next generation. We can change our behavior to be in harmony with nature again. And we can make sure that the technologies of the 4th Industrial Revolution are best utilized to provide us with better lives. In short, we need a great reset.
So the Netflix Kids show Stretch Armstrong starts off what is an essential digital tattoo. Now, digital tattoos have been in the works for years and have been said to have the potential to revolutionize the healthcare industry. For example, Microsoft partnered with MIT on a digital tattoo project, which had many different uses. And now digital tattoos can be used to track patients' health status. They can be used to access people's smartphones, people's social media accounts, and they can even be used for cashless payments. All of this as the US, China, and many world central banks and governments are ready to roll out their own central banks digital currency as we know it, as we are quickly approaching a cashless society. Now, recently we have learned of another Bill Gates, funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, funded program in partnership with MIT for the quantum dot tattoo, which can be used to track who has been vaccinated. Now, Gates has also came out recently and said there needs to be a digital vaccine certificate to track who has been vaccinated. Something surprisingly was endorsed by Dr. Tony Fauci.
But we'll have to have a certificates of who's a recovered person, who's a vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world where you'll have some countries that won't have it under control, sadly. You don't want to completely block off the ability for those, people to go there and come back and move around.
Now, this can very easily, very likely be incorporated into immunity passports, which are ready to be rolled out in 15 different countries, including the United States, the UK, Canada, Mexico, and several others. Now, all of this, of course, could be tied into another Bill Gates project in partnership with the United Nations in the ID 2020 under the UN Sustainable Development Goal 16.9 to provide every man, every woman, every child a digital ID, including birth registration. So it's very clear that we are moving into a new system where everything and everyone would be incorporated into this new digital system of control, where everything about you, every aspect of your life will be digitalized and centralized and controlled essentially by the establishment. And this is where the social credit score will also play a major role in shaping your decisions. So the infinity question becomes, are we all going to have to get a digital tattoo? It will contain all of your personal information. Or will we be microchipped? Well, not necessarily right now. But when it gets to the point that Michigan, the state of Michigan, has to pass a bill providing a clear distinction that being microchipped could not be forced and has to be a voluntary, we are probably not that far off. It doesn't necessarily have to be a tattoo or a microchip, because they just might be too invasive and it might be hit with resistance by the people, right? So it could come in many other forms. It can also be incorporated in your smartphones, which it likely will. But it will also likely include some form of biometric technology, such as fingerprints or facial recognition. So going back to the Netflix Kids show about the Smart Mark, which was rolled out suddenly by an evil villain, and the ultimate objective of the Smart Mark is mind control. Now, surely that part of the show must be far-fetched as well, right? Well, crazy as it sounds, my people, no, mind control is not far-fetched, at least not by the U.S. government, who conducted secret experiments on mind control like MK Ultra. Look it up. Mind control wasn't too far-fetched for scientists who conducted experiments on mice and rats by implanting chips in their brains. Now, my people, this type of shit reminds me of Elon Musk's Neuralink project, where he literally implants microchips and wires into human brains with the end goal of integrating artificial intelligence into humans.
He has been able to control the computer with his brain. Yeah.
This is a penny. It's pretty small, right? It's roughly the same size as the tip of my thumb. Now, zooming in extremely close, this right here is the needle that will be inserted into your skull. Placing it beside a penny, you actually couldn't see it. As the robot inserts each thread one by one, at the end, there could eventually be up to 10,000 of these electrodes inside your head, each responsible for recording separate neurons which can later on be analyzed. But not only can they read data from your brain, they can also input data as well. It's a two-way street. It's sort of like being able to upload and download things from your brain.
This project is essentially a part of the World Economic Forum's Fourth Industrial Revolution, where the social engineers decide and dictate the future of humanity. They openly talk about merging man with machine, my people. This is a transhumanistic agenda that is being rolled out by the technocrats. Now, I know all of this shit sounds crazy, and I wouldn't believe it if I didn't do research for myself. And I rarely ask you guys to do anything. But right now, I'm gonna ask everyone, whether you follow me or whether you don't, please take time and research and look up Fourth Industrial Revolution. Look it up on Google and look it up on YouTube. Please look this up. And you will find the official World Economic Forum on video on Fourth Industrial Revolution. Look this shit up on YouTube. And they are openly talking about merging man with machine. You will hear these motherfuckers talking about gaining access to people's thoughts and their emotions and building a fucking construct for them to safely operate in thinking. This is the definition of mind control.
It's so essential to free and open societies is freedom of thought. And up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotions, we have to create a space that enables people to think freely, to think divergent thoughts, to think creative thoughts. And in a society where people fear having those thoughts, the likelihood of being able to enjoy progress is significantly diminished.
Now, my people, let me ask my logical people a question for a second. Do you think if the technocrats are able to merge man with machine, and they actually have the ability to control your thoughts and your emotions, that they wouldn't do it? And of course, my people, they're gonna sell this bullshit as the greatest scientific achievement in history, with bullshit ass game tactics such as helping the blind to see and helping the disabled to walk. But you wanna know something? History shows us that things that can be used to help benefit humanity are all too often weaponized and used against humanity. So once again, back to the Netflix children's show. Is this predicting programming? Is this conditioning our children for the coming digitalized dystopian future enslavement of humanity? Or is this a warning, my people? Leave your comments below and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. This is your boy, Mr. 6_foot_5. That's my Instagram. And as I always stated, all praises to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, my people. Shalom.
Good evening. I can see some of you are still busy with checking the WhatsApp messages on your phones. What if I tell you, in the future, you might not even have to hold your phone in your hand to do this? If you had the choice, would you implant your smartphone into your head? Let us do a thought experiment and try to imagine what it would be like if we lived in a world where this would be possible. In that world, you could access all the functions of your phone using your thoughts. Everything that you usually see on the screen would be displayed into your visual space. Sitting here and listening to me, you can look up who was this guy called Elon Musk again, just by thinking about him. The answer, including a nice picture of Mr. Musk, would instantly be displayed in front of you. With a quick thought command, you can share what you see and hear with a friend in Hong Kong who can participate as if he would be here with us.
Of a part of our body. Tell me more, please.
Yes. So here's the deal. Amazon is reportedly testing body scan payment technology. This kind of creeps me out a little bit. According to the New York Post, the e-commerce giant is trying out the system called Orville, which uses biometric technology. The way it works, as it stands, is Amazon Prime users would scan their hand to ring up a purchase instead of a card. The goal is to roll it out at Whole Foods by the beginning of next year. Dina?
Okay, I have so many concerns because that means then your fingerprints are out there.
Yep, not just your finger. And I mean, like, what if you just wave and now you have a whole roll of cereal, you know, that you just bought?
Why not just put microchips in our arms and we just bump up next to anything?
That's what we bought.
Why not just put microchips in our arms and we just bump up next to anything?
That's where we're headed. That is the thing. I'm with you, Dina, because, like, as soon as you're like, oh, it's okay to, like, use my hand, and then next we got a chip in our arm. Yeah. And then next we got a chip in our arm. Yeah. And then next we got a chip in our arm.
Yeah, I know they're already doing that for some cars. So,
how many of you here would have a microchip implanted in your hand, for instance, if it allowed you to do things like pay for your groceries or log onto your computer just by waving your hand? Anyone? Very soon, you may have the chance. I'm bigger concerned is that this could be done ultimately against people's will at some point in time. Look, we live in a very fragile society.
Many people in Sweden are lining up to get these microchips that the country's main shipping company says that it can't even keep up with the number of requests.
Really?
What in
no way I would do that.
What in the Illuminati, mark of the beast, witchcraft is going on over there in Sweden?
And Steve, this is happening here. I don't want to get biblical, but you know, I've heard about this mark of the beast business my whole life. I think it's true. I think biblical prophecy. The more I'm hearing about this, everything we do. So we can talk about this, but this isn't coming.
It's here.